Old Fashioned Football on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code OFFSGPN.
Hey, what's up? This is Sam Acho, and you're listening to Old Fashioned Football.
Welcome to Old Fashioned Football. If you're wondering who you listen to, this is J Mark. You can find me on the X at J Mark Football. And if you're wondering who us is, that's at Old Fashioned FB. Before I keep going to talk about the NFC South division preview, got to bring in my co-host on the pod, End in Life. You can find her on the X at the Mark. How you doing today?
Doing good.
Doing
good. Yes.
That didn't sound very convincing, but we'll roll with it.
It's been a whirlwind of a day. It's always just a day.
Well,
for me.
happy Scott Fishbowl draft day.
Yes.
I think when last we talked, you have not made a selection yet. Is that still correct?
It did start like an hour ago. We had one
Okay.
empty spot. Somebody didn't join our league.
Okay.
It got filled though.
Well, I was waiting for my invite, and then I saw that they posted, we're looking for people that can draft at the 101 right now because the 101 has not picked in a league. And I'm like, pick me. I would love to do it. And they're like, okay, it's on my fantasy league. And I was like, oh, fuck. Sorry.
Hey, you're at least.
I'm in it.
in it.
I shouldn't complain. It's just an antiquated website. And it is what it is, though. I mean, it is what it is. Shout out to another guy I know made the Scott Fishbowl for the first time this year. That's Cody Zeeb of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast saying, let's fucking go.
It's your first year?
It's his first.
That's awesome.
The fantasy football guy that's in a million leagues and somehow has been overlooked by Scott Fish. Shame on you, Scott Fish. I know you can't pick everybody. But you should move the whole thing to sleeper. I hope everybody had a good 4th of July. I did want to show all my digits, got them all. Didn't even really light anything, but we've got all our digits, so that's good. And St. Stephen checking in. That's Steve from New Hampshire saying, "What's up?" It's his first time stepping in and chatting with Old Fashioned Football. So welcome to the show, Miranda.
Mm-hmm.
What are we talking about today?
Okay, so we've mentioned before the division previews. That's what we're going to start. We are going to be incorporating guests. We're trying to get a guest for almost every division, but nobody likes the NFC South.
I mean,
so,
it kind of feels that way.
It feels that way. I shouldn't say that. Somebody out there likes the NFC South.
Yeah.
But that's what, we're going to be starting with today.
Yeah, absolutely. And also just a reminder, this is the episode for this week. There will not be one on Wednesday like normal.
I'm out of here.
You are out of here. You are traveling. But we will have 3 division previews this month. So just follow our socials. We'll get them when we can. And yeah. I see you're drafting over there.
I have 2 drafts going on right now. I am a little distracted. Fantasy football drafts are in full swing here. I'm on the clock next in Scottfish, so we got a late start with our draft, so I need to be timely.
Yeah, I mean, we only have like 2.5 months before the football. 2 months, I guess, before
these slow drafts
starts.
Drive me crazy a little bit because I want to get it done. I want to know my team. And then you're going to have people who wait till the last minute of their 8 hours.
Yeah.
And I don't want to draft for 2 months long. I want to get these done. I want to just know.
Well, and we also have a startup dynasty that started today.
Yes.
And that one, I mean, a dynasty league, there's a lot of players, so that's going to be an undertaking, and that started today. So it's moving.
Part of the thing with these slow drafts too is I have this anxiety of I don't want to be the one that I didn't realize I'm on the clock and I'm holding people up. So I'm constantly checking my phone more than usual when these are going on, and I just have this. It's my own problem. Like I have this anxiety about it. Like I've got to be timely with my pick.
That's fair. Shout out to the chat. Jamie checking in. What's up, ladies? About to be a guest on Optimus Fantasy for Scott Fishbowl 15 mock in about 30 minutes, which is pretty cool.
That is.
And are you in a Battle of the Sexes tournament? We are not. And then Serial checking in. Always fresh, never soggy. Sounds like J-Mark going to be doing the Tom Cruise and Top Gun movie with the house to himself. That's right. It's going to be actually in Risky Business when he's just got the shirt and undies on. I'll be sliding through, mixing drinks and everything.
Oh my
That's
God.
what I'll be doing. With these division previews, we're talking about the teams, their key players, some fantasy football
standouts and sleepers.
Yeah. And a couple of bets.
Of course.
But before we get into all that, what are we drinking today?
Oh, I don't even want to say what we're drinking today. This is like a first for us that we've done something like this.
Not an old-fashioned football standard.
It is not.
That's for sure.
It's summertime, so maybe like especially just coming off of the 4th of July weekend, people probably had get-togethers, and maybe a bottle of this was at a get-together you were at. But we are trying Twisted Tea sweet tea whiskey today. I have to say I opened the bottle earlier and it smelled like a wine cooler or something.
It had a funk.
But we are following like our process here, and where you made an old fashioned.
I made an old fashioned. We'll break it down. The only thing different I did with this old fashioned is I put a dried lemon in it instead of a dried orange. Thought tea, lemon, mix it up a little bit, but that's the only thing I did different. So yeah, this will be interesting. I'm kind of excited to build the taste profile, but also kind of terrified, because we usually don't just trash a whiskey, but it could happen. We'll see.
It could happen.
We'll see. Just a quick,
maybe twees are your thing, and so this is exciting for you.
maybe you love the twee. Just a reminder, you can listen to every podcast episode on this network for free. That's right, for free, just by subscribing to the SGPN feed. Get it wherever you get your podcasts. All right, we're gonna just jump right into this. Steve from New Hampshire missed the introduction. Yes, this is my co-host in life and on the pod. The wifey used to be J-Mark's wifey on Twitter, but decided to create your own identity.
Well, I was always my own identity, and then I became J-Mark's wifey when we started this, and I was like, no, it's not the ring I want.
That's fair. And my dad's gonna come take a look at our roof, which has a roof leak. And
chimney flashing. I feel like it's the chimney flashing.
It's around the chimney. He's saying hopefully no risky business when he is here.
Hopefully no.
No promises.
I don't need to be stressing extra while I'm away.
So let's go in order of how the teams finished last year.
Okay.
Which starts with the division winners, the 10-7 Buccaneers, Baker and the boys.
You and Baker.
Yeah. It's me and Baker.
You and Baker.
I'm a Bears fan, obviously, but I love Baker Mayfield. I mean, that dude is just fun to watch.
Okay, well, I guess let's start with him. Obviously, Baker, he's done a good job since coming to the Bucs.
Yeah.
Taking them to the playoffs multiple times. I think.
Playoffs?
Yes.
You want to talk about the playoffs?
We can always talk about the playoffs. I think it's really just a matter of will Baker be able to keep it up?
Yeah. And unfortunately, he's working with his third offensive coordinator in 3 years. But it hasn't slowed him down yet. Changing offensive coordinators has not slowed him down. I slurred my words already. Apparently, the twee is.
Have you even had a drink of your twee?
I had a little bit of my old fashioned. Yeah, my twee old fashioned.
I should probably try it.
Yeah, you try that while I'm talking. The good news is their offensive coordinator is now Josh Grizzard. Did you make a face? I missed it. I wasn't looking at you.
That is something. Let's continue.
It'll grow on you. It's Josh Grizzard, who was their passing game coordinator last year. So it's not a completely new scheme and system. I mean, there will be some changes here and there, but it's not completely different, which I think is good.
No. And, as far as weapons, he has Mike Evans, who consistently goes over 1,000 yards every season.
Yeah, 10 seasons now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is.
It really is.
Yeah.
Chris Godwin, he was on fire last year before he dislocated his ankle.
Yeah, yep. And they also added Emeka Egbuka in the first round of the draft as well. So, and I think he could be a sneaky play in fantasy football, especially at the beginning of the season if Chris Godwin is not healthy and ready to go, because I think he's going to slot right into where Chris Godwin was playing.
Really?
And be kind of sneaky. Yeah.
Yeah,
Late round draft value.
Let me take some notes over
There
here. It's gonna get heated before it gets heated during our draft.
You're gonna snipe him from me. I can already feel it.
Let's see. Let's talk about the backfield. They have Bucky Irving, Rashad White. Bucky was a stud last year once they handed the keys over to him.
He was, and I believe there was somebody, some guy actually on Old Fashioned Football.
Oh, Jesus.
Who said after they drafted Bucky Irving, Rashad White was a top 10 fantasy football. That's what I kept hearing. Rashad White's a top 10 fantasy football running back. Guess what? They were one of the most inefficient teams in the run game, and they don't give a shit about your fantasy football team, and that Bucky Irving was going to get more carries and was going to be the dude. And look what happened. Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness. I can't sit by you right now. White still gets enough catches out of the backfield to be fantasy relevant, but I feel like he's more towards that high end flex, low RB2 spot.
Yeah. You don't want him as your RB1 like people were drafting last year.
No, I think the easy fantasy studs would be Bucky Irving and Mike Evans. Bucky, right now he's going as RB9 and half PPR. I feel like it's a little high.
I agree. Because I know he was great last year, but I feel like RB9 is drafting him at his absolute ceiling.
The best, the top possible.
Yes.
He's not going to go above it.
Has a great season. Maybe Rashad White misses some games. I think he's a great running back. I just don't think he's going to get 20 carries a game. And so RB9, I think, is just going to be a little high.
I think that is high. And then you have Evans, who's going at wide receiver 20, which I feel like is a little low for him.
Yeah, it does feel low. I mean, we're talking about, I know he's old. He's older. I get it.
He is
was
older.
Old last year.
I was already when I was looking at that and seeing where he's going, I was like, but
I think
he's
Mike
Evans
going to be 31. But when he was 30, he did it. He went for 1,000 yards.
At some point, the past age of 30 is going to start. He's going to decline.
Right. At some point. I don't think it's now, though. I know that that's the narrative, and that's why he kind of gets slept on, but I don't think it matters. Breaking news.
It's great value.
Yeah. Breaking news, though. Baker Mayfield, no longer a sleeper. The past 2 years, we have been on him because he's been drafted around QB 20. He's going as QB 7 this year. It's like people finally woke up and said, oh, this guy is good, and he's going to keep at it. Emeka Egbuka that I mentioned earlier, he's going as wide receiver 51, which I think is really good value. I think he's going to be better than that. So that's a bit of a sleeper for you.
Yeah. I think another value play, if you decide to wait on tight end, or if you draft Baker and maybe you're looking for a stack, would be Cade Otton.
Yeah.
He missed the last 3 games of the regular season, but before that, he had 5 top 10 finishes at the tight end position in his last 9 regular season games.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah. I wanted to get into their schedule.
Yeah. One thing about this, you get the strength of schedule. Yes. A lot of people like to talk about that, which they have the 14th easiest, so it's not that bad. But one thing about that I don't like is the strength of schedule is based off of last year. Everybody's different this year. It's based off of win percentage of last year. I don't know if you can necessarily say, oh, it's going to be tough or easy based on how teams did last year.
I can see that.
Yeah,
I guess.
Don't worry. We'll be talking bets too. I know that we got fantasy. We just gave out a lot more fantasy than we've given out for a while.
It feels good.
It feels damned good.
I don't know. Maybe that's where clearly that's where our heads have been lately with all these drafts.
Season.
It is draft season.
Yeah.
Speaking of schedule though, the Bucs play their division opponents twice, and then they also have games against the Cardinals, Patriots, Jets, 49ers. They play Eagles, Bills, Rams, Dolphins, Seahawks, Texans, and Lions. Boom, boom,
All
boom. So if you look at all that, there's some tough games when you're considering like going against the Eagles, the Bills. I think the Rams, Lions, those are going to be tough. Possibly the Texans too.
Yeah. Well, I know there's 2 Patriots fans right now in our chat, so let's go ahead and say they're going to lose that game. The Patriots are going to beat them. Just saying that for you Patriots fans. Those games are going to be tough, and they'll probably drop some division games. They're not going to sweep the whole division. But I kind of see them doing the same as last year, 10-7. If they can just win, 1 or 2 of those games you mentioned, like against the Lions, they play them very well. They play the Rams pretty well. And even the Eagles, they've done well against them. I mean, they stopped the tush push. And after the tush push was not banned, they I like that they posted a thing, bring it or something like that. They posted their defensive line. It was kind of cool. Honestly, if we're talking about betting, I don't see this team not winning the division.
I hate to agree with you, but I do have to ask you, like, are you saying that I know you just kind of supported it a little bit, but I also feel like you're biased. You're so biased about Baker.
No,
and this is like your
boy Baker.
Well, the Bucs are like your secondary team.
Bills are my secondary team, but
they're like your third team.
They're my third-and-dairy team.
Third-and-dairy.
Yeah.
No, like I guess you're right. Bills. Yeah. Got enough Josh Allen talk with you last week, so
poor Cody.
But go ahead.
I was gonna say the Bees, the Bears, the Bills, and the Bucks. I just tend to like them, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, jeez, this reminds me of the boiled eggs.
do tell. How does
the
this
triple B's? Because it's 3 B's, and I just can't handle you.
Would you like to explain? To
I don't want to explain. Fine, I'll explain.
All right.
Every week. We have hard-boiled eggs for lunch just about every week. And you are in charge of boiling the eggs. And you always label as one should, because we always have boiled and some non-boiled eggs in our fridge. You always label the carton of the boiled eggs. And I never know after, like, you've boiled them and the first time I'm going to that carton, I never know what it's going to say. Because you label it differently every week and you are ridiculous.
Yeah.
So why don't you share what you named it?
Well, this week it was the triple B, the boiled butt balls.
Which is so disgusting. Half the time I look at what you've named our boiled eggs and it's like, I don't want to eat these. Thanks, Justin.
More for me, I guess.
One time it was like boiled chicken babies.
Boiled babies.
Boiled babies.
Yeah, you didn't like that one.
You're horrible.
My goal is that every time you decide to make your lunch and you grab the egg carton to get your eggs, there's a comment of what that, or a laugh or something. So
most of the time it's what the fuck.
Cereal, always fresh, never soggy, chiming in. Baker 4K passing, Bucks a sack every game, or Evans 1K receiving. I like Baker 4K and Evans 1K receiving.
I was gonna say the 1K receiving.
Yeah,
I don't want to jinx it though.
It's a nice correlation though. I like it. I like that bet a lot. Hey, we're gonna and you're right. I might be biased, but we're gonna talk about the other teams in the division in a minute here. But first, I gotta let you know that we're brought to by the Circa Million and Circa Survivor contest. You think you know ball? Then you have to enter Circa's football contest with 21 million in guaranteed prizes. There is no rake, so if entries go above the guarantee, all the extra money is going to the prize pool. Circa Million is just you pick 5 teams against the spread each week, or you can go for the ultimate sweat, the Circa Survivor. There is even the Circa Grandissimo, a $100,000 Survivor contest. I know Kramer was hoping he could get into that one. You must register in person at the Circa Sportsbook in Nevada, which is a great excuse to book a trip to Las Vegas. Sign up in Nevada, play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. Go to footballcontest.com and use promo code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. We're also brought to you by MyBookie. MyBookie.ag is the place to bet on every sport, including the MLB, WNBA, golf, and of course, NFL football futures, and of course, the CFL. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations, and it's easy to deposit lightning fast payouts using crypto. That's right. Get your Dogecoin ready Just head over to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Just realized the graphic has the NBA, and the NBA finals are over, so we're going to have to...
whose job is that? Yours or somebody else's?
That the graphics guy is not me for
okay.
those.
It's like, am I going to have to fire you again?
You do not have to fire me. Chilled egg farts being thrown out as an idea for the boiled eggs. So that's a good one. I like that. And Steve having to run off. No worries. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. And cheers. And we're gonna move right along to the Falcons. They finished 8-9 last year, second in the division. In a year where Kirk Cousins started as their quarterback and struggled quite a bit, they really gave him a really long leash. It was like, hey, we paid you a lot of money, and also, hey, you're a veteran. We're gonna let you suffer to maybe have him realize that he doesn't have it anymore. I'm not sure, but they finally at the end of the season there, they let Michael Penix come in, and now they're going to roll with Michael Penix as their starter and Kirk as backup. Penix has a big arm. He was a stud in college. I was a big fan of him in college. And this team does have some good weapons. They are the biggest threat to the Bucs in this division, in my opinion.
I would agree with that. For weapons, they've got Bijan Robinson. He's currently going as RB1 in most drafts. He started 2024 slow, but he finished with 6 straight top 10 finishes, finished in the top 12 in 10 of the last 12 games, and he's going to continue to be one of the top fantasy running backs.
Yeah.
Then they've got Drake London, who in fantasy football has never lived up to his potential.
Never.
He's going as wide receiver 9 right now, which seems high, but on the last game of the season this past year with Penix throwing to him, he had 187 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns, finishing as wide receiver 1. Whether he can maintain that with Penix, I feel like it's yet to be seen, because in the other 2 weeks that Penix started, he finished 47th and 26th.
Awesome job. You said Penix multiple times.
I did.
There and never said penis.
I don't ever stop it. You have no idea how much in the back of my mind I'm saying Penix, Penix, Penix the whole time.
She's
I
really
have to
saying,
talk about
don't say penis. Don't say penis.
I didn't. I've never said penis when I said Penix. One time. 2 times.
Yeah, 2 or 3. But it does not sound like you're saying Penix.
Like, because I'm saying Penix, and we don't need. Why do you have to bring that up? I did so well keeping Penix in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
You suck.
For Atlanta, Serial is digging Atlanta to score a touchdown every game plus 110. I like that too. I think they can get it done. Their other main receiver you mentioned, Drake London, their other main guy, Darnell Mooney.
Yes, Mooney.
Who had some surprisingly good games last year, despite me thinking that he was cooked when he left the Bears. I think he just didn't give a shit in Chicago anymore. And then, of course, they have your favorite tight end, Kyle Pitts. And you gotta wonder, is he finally going to unlock that potential with Michael Penix?
I don't want to talk about Kyle Pitts. Can we just scratch him off of the list of topics? It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen. All right. So the biggest question mark, we'll gloss right over Kyle Pitts.
Okay.
And
good. This is the first time you're glossing over him.
I know. We're going to let Cody from the NASCAR Gambling Podcast draft him because I know he's going to. We're gonna,
the 2 of you.
But the biggest question mark for the Falcons, as far as the team success, is their defense, primarily their pass rush. It has not been good. They'll hope that that's answered with. They added Leonard Floyd, another former Chicago Bear, in the free agency. They drafted Jelon Walker.
Discards.
Right. They drafted Jelon Walker and James Pierce, which I was a big James Pierce fan. I thought he was kind of getting slept on, especially when it came to the mock drafts. Atlanta didn't think so as they traded up to get him. I think he's going to make some noise. So, perhaps with those 3, they can finally figure out what they've kind of been missing on the defense. Hopefully for Falcons fans anyways. My favorite thing as far as their betting the Falcons, their win total is set at 7.5. Last year, in what felt like a really bad season, they won 8 games.
They did.
And I think
they're set up to have a better season.
Right. I think they made enough improvements that they'll at least get to the same mark. They'll at least win 8 games. So as long as Penix develops, of course, they're going over that 7.5. That feels easy to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I could get behind that.
You can get behind that.
I can. We've got the Saints next. I really don't feel like we need to spend a ton of time on them because we have already broken this team down when it comes to quarterbacks. We're staying away from this team altogether in fantasy football.
and in betting, if I'm being honest. I mean, we don't know who's going to be the starting quarterback yet.
No.
Although I do think it's going to be Spencer Rattler and then Tyler Shuck will take over. That's how I think it's going to play out. But yeah, there's no reason to beat a dead horse too much.
No, and they didn't make a ton of off-season changes. I mean, they brought in Brandon Cooks. They drafted a new offensive lineman and drafted Tyler Shuck.
You didn't just say it like
yes,
30 seconds ago?
No, I didn't say it 30 seconds ago. But
I said it, maybe.
I always, that's one of those things. It's like Penix, Shuck.
Well,
no.
I mean, in all fairness, he spells his name SHOUGH.
And when I'm going through, I think of like how I see their names. And I was like, no, don't say it.
SHOUGH. So it looks like Shuck.
We don't need to go over pronunciation.
Anyways.
We all know I struggle. But anyway, yeah. I don't feel like with their off season, anything really jumped off the page to me.
Yeah, and I think losing Derek Carr maybe threw off any hopes they may have had this year. Even though I don't think it was high hopes to begin with. I will say
that losing Derek Carr.
I know, right?
Their hopes went down
loss. No. I like their head coach, Kellen Moore, former Dallas Cowboy offensive coordinator. Serial knows all about Kellen Moore, former Boise State Bronco quarterback. I like him. This isn't the year, obviously.
No. Are you completely staying away from their two playmakers, like Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, who's going to be throwing to Thomas? We don't know. And he's had injury problems anyways. So I don't know if I trust him. And then for Kamara, he's aging. He's slowing down a little. And if I'm defenses, you just key on him because he's the main guy you got to stop.
Yeah.
So
make it a little easy for him.
So yeah, I'm staying away personally. I saw somebody shout out to the Iowa Stallion is his name on Twitter, asking, would you be interested in the Bears getting Alvin Kamara? I would not. I think why get somebody who's older and towards the end of his career? I just don't see the benefit.
No,
I really don't. I don't see the benefit there. We're going to talk about that last team, and we also got some best bets, and we got to talk about this twee. But
unfortunately,
yeah, right. But Miranda, before we do, tell everybody a little bit about Underdog.
Yes, we are brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Best Ball Mania is happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. No waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best Ball is the best way to play fantasy football. Underdog is also a great place to play Pick'em. Not Book'em, Justin. And Justin will keep giving out some CFL picks on our YouTube shorts, so don't forget to subscribe. And also go sign up with promo code OFFSGPN to claim your special pick plus first-time deposit offer of up to $1,000 in bonus credits. That's UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code OFFSGPN.
We're also brought to you by Rhythm. You've heard us talk about Rhythm before, and they have dropped a game-changing feature called Power Trends. These are AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a high return on interest. Think of a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. Think of Kenny Lawler averaging 120 receiving yards a frickin' game. Power Trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets. Download the Rhythm app, check out the Power Trends, and start betting smarter because you know we will be. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. All right.
All right. You ready to talk about the Panthers?
Let's talk about the Panthers.
It's our last team to discuss in the NFC South. They made a lot of changes this offseason, especially on defense.
They did. I mean, they brought in defensive tackle Bobby Brown, edge rusher Patrick Jones, safety Trayvon Moehrig, linebacker Christian Roseboom, edge Nick Scorton, edge Princely Umanmielen, and defensive tackle Tershawn Wharton.
I'm glad you got that name.
Princely
Princely
Umanmielen. It's interesting because if you didn't watch the AF1, Arena Football 1 League, the Albany Firebirds, the team that I was covering, won the championship, the Arena crown, and they have Prince Umanmielen. And I cannot find on the internets if Prince and Princely are related, but I have to imagine they are, right? You have a Prince Umanmielen and a Princely Umanmielen. I mean, what are the odds?
What are the odds?
Right. Minus 5,000? I don't know. They also got, I don't remember if I said defensive tackle Tershawn Wharton. He was last on my list here. So a lot of defensive players that they threw in.
Absolutely. And then on offense, they added running back Rico Dowdle. And then, of course, first-round draft pick Tet McMillan. They also had a new receiver from last year, Xavier Legette.
Yeah, you know I love me to make Xavier Legette.
Oh, my goodness. And then they also, how dare you?
He eats squirrels, raccoons, turtle. His favorite is turtle soup, I believe he said, or something like that, or raccoon. I don't remember.
No.
Yeah.
Save the turtles.
Not the raccoons, though. Fuck the raccoons. Our dog just about had raccoon soup last night as I let her out at 2:20 something in the morning. I'm half awake. I'm staggering out there like, okay, go potty, because she had been scratching at the side of the bed. I opened the door without looking because we live in the country. I didn't think
whenever let's be honest, if you're here, I don't let her out in the middle of the night. That's your job.
That's my job.
I'm not if I do, I'm dragging you with me. It's like, come on, it's 3 a.m. and it's
well, there were 3
but anytime I've been alone, that's the first thing I do. I look.
Yeah.
I'm like, make sure she's not going to go after something because I'm alone and I'm going to be responsible for getting her or she's de-escalating a situation. And I'm more paranoid of coyotes.
That's fair. She's like 13 years old. I don't expect
she doesn't have a lot of
charging.
Zoom.
And man, she saw these 3 little raccoons who happened to be in our drive. They're about yay big, the size of a whiskey bottle as far as length, if you will. And she was not happy that they were in her drive. And she tore after them, and 1 ran this way, 2 ran this way. They were small enough that the one was struggling on the landscape bricks. So he's like trying to jump down, but he's not sure of himself. And she really went after him and just forced him to jump.
She's never attacked anything though.
No.
So like, what would she have done?
Who knows? But this one is stuck. Like, can I jump? The other one's trying to crawl because we have landscape, sidewalk, landscape. He's trying to crawl the other landscape. Like, oh my gosh, can I make it? It was a shit show. And then she wouldn't listen to me because she's like, I'm eating raccoon soup. Anyways, sorry. Go on from you were at Xavier Legette. You were talking about him, I believe.
Yes. So they still have Adam Thielen. So
speaking of old,
yes, with McMillan he's currently going at wide receiver 27, Thielen at wide receiver 64, Legette 66. Are you buying into any of these guys?
I don't know if I can buy into the receivers, to be honest, just because it's not because I think they're going to be bad, but I think there's just so many options now, which is weird to say for the Panthers. And me.
But are they going to make something of those?
Yeah, probably
options?
Something, but good enough to be wide receiver 27. I mean, I know Tet McMillan was the first wide receiver off the board. He's a really good, talented guy, big guy. But I don't know if he's worth wide receiver 27 in a standard league. In Dynasty, sure, go after him. But
I think the big problem is Bryce Young.
Well, now, I love to hate on the Panthers. I think Bryce Young is a bust. This has to be the final prove it year for him, doesn't it?
I don't know. I can't answer that. Like,
I think it has to.
Do you think they'll move on from him if he busts out again?
Yeah, they got to.
I guess, he was benched a couple times last year. It was at the beginning of the year, but he did end up finishing the season out.
Yeah.
I will just let you know, like in the last 3 games, he had 2 top 5 finishes in fantasy football.
Yeah.
Which is shocking.
It is. And the more I look at him, he's going at QB 24 this year.
Mm-hmm.
And this feels disgusting to say. But at that price, I'm buying in. I don't want him as my starting quarterback, don't get me wrong. But I think in a super flex league, a QB2, or just backup, I think he's got sneaky value. I'm still not buying into this team as far as bets. I'm not going to risk that, but I do think they could win some more games. And Serial is liking T-Mac 5+ touchdowns at -125. He also likes Bryce Young over 17.5 touchdowns. I think I kind of like that one with the plethora of weapons. Now, out of my peripherals, I see you're on the clock.
I am.
This is in the which league?
The Dynasty, brand new Dynasty.
All right. And who are you debating between?
I was debating taking McLaurin.
No other choices you're debating?
I was need another
chat.
I need
chime in.
Hey.
No, nobody in the chat is in this league. So
I need another wide. So I don't normally do this, but I have a wide receiver. Well, I drafted a running back first. I do that, whatever.
Yeah.
But I have a running back, a wide receiver. I wanted Jalen Hurts for my stack, so I took a quarterback 3rd round, and I didn't think Sam Laporta would make it to me, and he did, so I took him last. But so it's half PPR.
You're thinking Scary Terry.
I am thinking Scary Terry.
Chat sound off on if you think she should draft Scary Terry
or another running back. I mean,
Serial's saying sounds like a Breece Hall play, but I do believe Breece Hall is gone.
Breece Hall is gone.
Because I was thinking about drafting him, and then he was gone before he got back to me. So, but yeah, chat sound off. Serial, Cody.
I feel like he's the best available, and I need a wide receiver.
Well, just do it then.
I'm going to. I wasn't going to hesitate till you started questioning me.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
I was gonna do it. Let me just take a pause from over here because we are doing a podcast.
Oh, we are.
Yes. There was one more thing too that I wanted to say, that I also like running back Chuba Hubbard, who was surprisingly good in fantasy football last year.
He was, and I'm not scared of Rico Dowdle being there.
No.
I think Hubbard's still the main guy on the backfield there.
Speaking of Hubbard, he's one of the top 3 running backs available right now.
Oh.
But I don't think that's what I don't think I want to do that. I was going to take McLaurin, and then you're like, well, let's let everybody weigh in on this decision that is mine.
Just was going to give you some input. My bad.
What is your input? Like, I should listen to you. I guess
me?
You're at the other end of the draft.
I like Scary Terry. Serial saying go for George Pickens. Now that he's got old man Rodgers thrown out. Rodgers' arm is going to fall off by week 5.
Are you kidding
then
me?
It's gonna be Mason.
What kind of advice is that?
Wait. Now I'm all confused. Pickens got traded, right? Pickens is no longer a Steeler. Now I'm blanking. Who did he get traded to? Steelers traded Pickens to.
Hold on, I should probably just get over back here. He went to Dallas,
which
is why he's saying
it. That is probably a good pick, but
you think that?
Take Scary Terry so Pickens is there for me.
No.
He's much more of a back end of this round than a front end.
He is more of a back end of this round.
Yeah. Serial, just for you, I'm going for Pickens.
I mean, there's a Olave out there, but I want to stay away from him. Okay, you're like nudging me, like, stop it.
Stop talking about your draft. Let's get on with this.
Okay.
Nick
I love draft season.
Yeah, I know. I do too. Nick saying Eagles. I'm not sure why.
What about Eagles?
I'm not sure. He just said Eagles.
The stack that I have? Yeah, I have a good.
She does have an Eagles stack.
I
AJ
do.
Brown and Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So wrapping this back up. Sorry, everybody. That's really all we have on the NFC South.
Yeah.
It's a bit of an easier division because you have 2 teams that could be on the edge of being good, and you have 2 that just aren't there yet. In our opinion, anyways, I should say.
Yeah.
I don't want to upset anybody.
The one Panthers fan in the world, like, come on.
Hey, I've met a few Panthers fans. Not saying that they made the right choice, but
fair enough.
Anyway, we're gonna dive deeper into some of these other divisions. In the coming weeks, we'll have some guests, like we said. So make sure you subscribe. Put in the comments how you think the division plays out or who you're targeting in your fantasy football drafts.
Yeah.
Get some of that discussion going.
For sure. Yeah, let us know.
Mhm.
Serial saying, didn't Hubbard get injured in the last couple games? I do think that's correct.
Mhm.
Nick saying, why do I have a crown with name? I'm not sure. But
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Steelers traded Pickett's to the Eagles. It was actually the Cowboys.
No, it was the Cow.
Now, Serial is going to be very upset that you have.
He went to the. Am I wrong? He
went
to the Cowboys.
You're not. And
Okay.
Serial saying he's got Dak. He's going to be very upset that you compared the Eagles and the Cowboys.
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
So before we talk about whiskey, Justin,
Yeah.
do you have any bets for us?
You know I do.
I know. For
You
the
know I
NFC South.
And guess what? I even made a graphic for him. We've had our bottle lock bets.
And have we done? Have you hit a couple, but do we have any money in the barrel?
In the barrel?
The bottle? Whatever.
We're not talking bottle lock bets. We're talking barrel strength bets.
Did you not have bottle?
Not today.
Not today.
No.
You're like,
well, there's no line set for CFL yet. There's nothing to bet.
Fine. How disappointing.
Well, subscribe and follow. We'll have something out there. Anyways, let's do a little barrel strength bets. That's things that are over 100 proof or plus 100. I already mentioned I like the Falcons over win total, even though it's juiced to minus 140. So let's just say for something a little more fun than that, I like the Bucs to win the division at plus 100, even though I do think the Falcons threaten that. I like Mike Evans to have 1,000 plus receiving yards in the regular season at plus 125. He's done it for 10 years. I'm not fading him now. And also, you can bet the Falcons and Bucs plus 160 as the top two in their division. That feels like a lock because for that bet, it doesn't matter how they finish. It could be Bucs, Falcons, Falcons, Bucs. But I don't think the Panthers or the Saints are going to threaten those two teams. I think this is the Falcons or Bucs division. And so you can bet them to finish as the top two at plus 160. I love that bet. Love it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
I feel like you're waiting for me to say I love it.
I was waiting for you to say you love it, but you just looked at me like, sure. Ben Lau checking in. How's it going, man? I hear that Justin Jefferson guy is pretty good. No, fake news. He is better, I would say. He
went third in this draft.
Did he?
Mm-hmm. I think
he is better than anybody in this NFC South division. I will say that. He went third overall in the startup dynasty draft.
It was between, I don't know if it was really between him. I had my eyes set on Jahmyr Gibbs. So that's who I took.
There you go. And Serial with a hot take. Don't be surprised when Carolina gets in the top two.
Ooh.
I just don't.
I don't see
buy
it.
Into Bryce Young.
I don't see that.
I think Bryce Young is still a bust. So, and Randy saying Falcons Bucs, smash that for sure. Absolutely. That's the NFC South. Now, what I'm sure everybody's been waiting for and we've been avoiding.
And I apologize for all my facial expressions every time I take a drink of this old fashioned.
This is growing on me.
It
the lemon sat there and
it kind of grabs you, but at the same time it's like, oh, like I have to think that I'm not drinking an old fashioned.
This is like an Arnold Palmer that's spiked.
Maybe
it is. It's like an Arnold Palmer that's been spiked.
It's different.
It is different. Well, why don't you remind everybody what are we drinking today?
So for the first time ever, we're doing something like this on the show where we're reviewing Twisted Tea's sweet tea whiskey.
Yes. And how about you tell everybody a little about it while I make our pours because we're going to try it plain.
Yes, we are. Oh my gosh, the smell out of the bottle is horrible. So this is going to be fun. There's literally like zero information on their website. I don't really feel like they have to have any information. If you drink Tweez, you might, and you like whiskey, maybe you're picking up a bottle of
or maybe if you don't like
or maybe
whiskey,
if you don't
like this. I don't know.
There's no information about the whiskey that's used in this. And obviously it's made with whiskey, real brewed tea, made to be taken as a shot on ice or in a mixed drink, but that's all they tell us. Again, it's Twisted Tea. They don't really need to. You're not going to go on their website and get this background on a distillery and all the pretty pictures
and
water
from
where they're sourcing their.
It's been polluted.
We're distilling this in a van down by the river. Okay.
Right.
But anyway, We're still gonna review this in the old fashions that you made,
Yeah.
give you our thoughts on it in a mixed drink. That way,
Bougie
we're gonna
it is
try
not,
it neat.
I would say.
What?
Bougie it is
I'm
not.
sure this is somebody's jam. Like this stuff is somebody's go-to. When I think I'm getting an old fashioned, this is not what I want to be served.
No, absolutely not.
This is like I think I have to take my mind out of this and like I'm not drinking an old fashioned. This is just twee with bitters and a lemon slice.
Well, before we get into our scoring here, Serial pointing out we won't forget when CD was not better than Michael Pittman after I listed him in my top 10 wide receivers as better than CD. And what smells worse, those boiled chicken babies or twisted tea?
I need that. I don't like the smell of boiled eggs. Like, like when you
crack them open and they're warm and
warm boiled eggs, it just doesn't smell good. But
all right, so
this smells better. I don't know. That almost smells like college.
It smells like college. And Four Locos are some people's jam. That's the type of people that would drink this.
Yes.
Four Locos and the twisted tea. Let's give the bottle a score. I'm giving it a 1. There's nothing fancy about it. It's just a bottle. What are you giving it?
I would give it a 1 as well. It's the bottle.
And how about in the cocktail?
Oh man, hold on.
it's hold on.
I think this is somebody who needs something like sweet in order to drink alcohol.
Yeah, I gave it a 2.7 because
if you like hard tea,
but it
got better.
It got better. She turned me into a newt. I got better. If you don't know what we're talking about, shame on you, and go watch some Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
It's not my jam. This is not my jam.
No, it's whiskey. Of course it's not jam.
I'm giving it a 1 in a cocktail. Like, I don't know.
All right, let's do this. Let's give a little nose profile here.
Smells like a wine cooler. It smells like college. It smells like a frat party.
Yeah, it's giving off Boone's Farm vibes.
It is. It smells like when people want to play beer pong and not use beer. And they want to use like liquor or something.
I would have dominated using this. Absolutely.
That's what it reminds me of. You walk into the room that the beer pong's going on in and they switch from beer to something else.
Serious. Yeah, I like it. I agree. Or it's almost like when you would order a Jack and Coke because Coke is really sweet.
Yes,
and then it waters it down, and so you have the watered down pop with a little bit of Jack Daniels they threw in there. Like that's how it smells to me. Like it smells like pop almost.
It does smell like flat pop because there's no carbonation.
No, flat pop.
You get like a rush of sugar, but then it's like the alcohol and like total wine cooler.
This may be the best profile we've given out as far as nailing exactly how it smells. I mean,
you walk into the beer pong room.
Yes.
The smell of the
flat pop with a little bit of whiskey in it. Serial wondering what's better, a big cocktail or a big Penix. A little play on words there. Penix is a big dude. I mean, I'm just saying.
This burns. This burns when you just drink it straight. Give it a second. If it's not burning, is it burning you?
It's not burning. What? Our Mark saying, "What's the Abbey 40?" Abbey, never mind. I believe he's going for the alcohol, the ABV. It's 32.5%.
65 proof.
Yeah, 65 proof.
This is like, it's just so sweet. I just don't want the sweetness that comes with this.
Well, first of all, nose score.
Oh, I forgot the nose score.
Yeah.
I thought I told you that was my.
We gave out some great ways
to describe the smell.
Yeah, but what are we rating this? What is the flat pop Jack Daniels beer pong?
I can't. This is our whiskey rating scale, and like I can't be serious with this.
Is it another 1?
It doesn't smell like something
you would want to drink.
No.
Yeah. So a 1. I gave it a 1.8. I'm a little nicer than you. All right, let's go for that taste and finish. What's it taste like besides just sugary flat pop?
No, it tastes like hard sweet tea.
Well, that's what it is.
It is.
Genius.
That's what it tastes like. I don't get any whiskey out of this.
Good one, Sherlock.
Do you shut up. Do you taste whiskey?
No, absolutely not.
You could have any form of alcohol in here and you would not be able to pick it out over the whatever it is in this.
Serial saying this is the type of drink that makes you have a segment ranking tight ends. Yeah, this is not very good. Maybe on a hot day with a lot of ice, it would be all right to drink.
And I'm even trying to picture that, because there are some times where we're working in the garden and I like the Lipton hard teas.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've bought in Tweez. But once in a while, we'll take one of those Lipton lemon hard teas.
Yeah.
And we'll crack one open in the garden when we're working. When you're not drinking Liquid Death.
Yeah. Usually I'm drinking our unofficial sponsor.
Oh,
Liquid
it's right
Death.
there. Right
Shout
on
out
the desk.
to them.
I like that better than this. This is
this is not good. It's not good.
I'm sorry, Twee, but you also don't need us to endorse you.
Well, I'm sorry to Mr. Nick Fortune, because a broken bottle of this was part of his birthday gift. It was
he liked
broken.
it, didn't he? Say
He did say it was pretty good.
Well, and here's the thing:
he might have been trying to be nice,
maybe
because it was a birthday gift. But when I got to his place to give it to him, I opened my truck door and it fell out and broke, and it rolled under the truck, and I went and got it. And it was just
the glass bottle broke?
No, just the lid cracked.
Okay.
So some spilled out, but he still had about half a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
He said it was good. Now Nick does like sweeter things.
I'm wondering if you mix this with like a sparkling water.
I did.
Maybe I don't do carbonation, but maybe take this and make it lighter with carbonation.
I did see that as one of the
and
cocktail
some fresh
recipes.
Lemon slices.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be like, if I just not in an old fashioned, just don't do that.
We'll try it and we'll get back to you on ice with a little.
Well, we obviously have a bottle. So we're going to be inviting people over here.
Try this. It's so good.
You should drink this.
Yeah.
In a minute, we're going to set up beer pong.
I don't like this. I give it a 1 as a taste.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of on its own, but you're going to put this in. I don't think we need to eliminate this from the whiskey.
No, it's
spreadsheet.
It's
because
tournament.
I don't know.
It's part of it. I mean, we're going to have bad rankings for some. And it gets a 1.
It's a 1.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man.
So straight 1s for you.
I'm trying to remember what this reminds me of, but it reminds me of like just some really cheap alcohol you get in college.
I was gonna say you nailed it on college.
It reminds me of college.
This is the taste in your mouth after you've had multiple drinks at the bar and you're a little wasted,
or
and you just get like that.
It almost tastes like there could be some sort of UV something in there.
Yeah.
Remember UV anything. UV blue was mixed into like everything at every party.
Including absinthe if you were part of Kappa Theta Psi.
And I just feel like when you taste that, it's like when you're in college and you don't know what's good and you're just drinking.
Safe to say we're not getting the Twisted Tea Distiller on the show. Yeah, that's a hard no.
But I don't think Twee is interested in us, and I don't think they want to be on our show.
Shout out to Benji that was in the chat here. You mentioned UV blue. I remember on his birthday he got absinthe, and with it said, mix 1 part absinthe with 2 parts water, and we were like, water with our alcohol? Let's do UV blue instead. Did not turn out great that night, especially for Benji. But
speaking of Twee not being on the show, I also compared how I like Lipton hard teas better than Tweez. So I think we definitely dissed them enough. We have strong opinions.
If Carolina hits the team total over 6.5, J-Mark has to finish the bottle. Whew. How about just a big shot? Like I'll fill a glass like this.
Oh my God, that makes me want to puke.
But I'll do it for cereal on air.
Okay. We're bet.
I'm not gonna do the bottle, but I'll fill this to the top and I will chug it. Bet.
Okay.
I'm already having nightmares about it.
That means you think it's going to happen.
Yeah, well, it could. I think it's in the realm of possibilities.
It is in the realm of possibilities, which makes this a really interesting bet to track throughout the season.
Absolutely.
So thank you for that.
What's up, Channing? We
Hello.
are not trying a whiskey this week that you should check out. The Twisted.
I mean, again, if tweez are your jam, if they're your thing,
it shouldn't be anybody's thing, really. Twisted tea, sweet tea whiskey should not be a thing.
But maybe if you do, like I said, I think the only way you can make this like palatable is to mix it with sparkling water and some fresh lemon slices. Don't make an old fashioned with it. Don't drink it neat.
The old fashioned got a little bit better as I went along. It started tasting like an Arnold Palmer.
No.
For me.
No.
For me.
No.
When I'm going to start sweating when the Panthers get to 4 wins. Hopefully that's at the very latter.
It has to be season. In that glass too, so you get the full amount of the bet.
Yep. Well.
So we're gonna have to remember gold rim glass.
Yep. He says Deal Cereal won't let me forget. It's okay. Do you have anything else you wanted to add?
I'm sorry. Well, this was just different. It was fun. I enjoyed doing this twee.
You got to try it.
Sweet tea whiskey review. I thought it would be a fun, like, oh, it's summer and hard tea. People love their hard teas. Let's do a hard tea whiskey. See what happens.
We're going to pick a better whiskey for next week.
Yeah. Something light, though. I wanted to do light whiskeys, lighter, not this. For July, heat. We're getting into the heat of the summer. And let's find some, like, lighter whiskeys that would be good and cocktails.
Sounds good. Again, this is the podcast for the week. We won't have one on our normal Wednesday. Next week, bear with us because we're going to kind of figure out when we're going to be doing it.
We'll have children next week.
Yep. The niece and the nephew will be here. So we're going to plan around that. Otherwise, Miranda, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, I'm good. All
right, everybody. Have a good one. Stay safe. Gamble responsibly. Drink responsibly. We don't have cheers, first of all. And I like our sign off, even though we're not talking auction fantasy football. I don't give a shit. Going once, going twice.
So.
Hey, what's up? This is Sam Acho, and you're listening to Old Fashioned Football.